Ke hopola hantle ke eme laeneng e telele ya go thola monyetlo. Monyetlo o ne ke ho nka hore ke kgone ho kgantsha bophelo ba ka. Letsatsi leo ne ke le motlotlo hore pono ya ka ya bonahala. Monyetlo a se wa motho kaofela, ke wa ba nang le tshwanelo. Batjha ba ho lehlahla, re ya kgolwa na ho monyetlo wa ho vouta?
Do I vote? I once voted. I voted once. And the reason I stopped voting is I already know ANC is going to win. So what's the point of me wasting my time and going to the voting polls only for the same party to win all over again? The close are the same people, same struggles, same empty promises. We vote for them. So it's pointless going to the voting polls at this point, because there won't be any change. ANC will still be in charge. And if I go and I vote for another party, like there's no other party that can actually lead South Africa right now. It's just a circus.
Personally, I'm not a fan of the whole idea of voting. Things have become so difficult on the down low that we really invest on surviving more than anything. You govern yourself and your family first before you want to even start thinking about the family next door, the township next to mine, city next to mine, and other people. Things are so difficult and tough that we are really investing everything that is within us to really survive. And a part of that for me is not voting. Voting is not a part of that, because when you vote, you put your faith in a certain individual, you put your faith in a certain group, in a political party, to bring about change that you need so desperately. So personally, I've never voted in my life, because I honestly feel it's pointless. It's pointless when you still have people voting on emotion. So people are still voting on the emotive play of ANC having gotten us out of the apartheid. Gets to a point where I'm thinking, even when I do vote and I vote for a different party, majority of our folks still feel I don't want to call it an urge, but they still feel the need to vote ANC because they brought us out of apartheid. What I'm trying to say in a nutshell is, I as a youth, as an individual, feel like the youth doesn't have much voice, especially with the current systems in place. I feel like we don't have much voice. We are being lied to constantly. We are being told youth is the future. But when you look at how things are being done, we are not being given a platform to make an impact. An example of a result of us not being given a platform to make an impact. How is it that members of parliament, the average age for members of parliament as it stands is above age 30, but we are talking about the youth being the future and the solutions need to come from the youth. But the people, when I'm talking member of parliament, these are the people who sit there, make amendments to the constitution, come up with acts that are going to affect the future. So when you have old people in those structures and less of young people in those structures, then what impact do we have rather than just putting my X on a ballot paper to vote for a certain party? What more power or platforms do we have to voice out our opinions and exercise alternative ways in which we could really address certain things?
if I'm being honest, it's going to be difficult for us to vote. I am 25 years of age, and I haven't voted one bit. My family, all of them, they vote except for me. Reason being that I haven't seen a reason for myself to vote. Yes, we have freedom. We have what is it? The Bill of Rights. We have rights. We can do anything we want to do today. We have freedom of speech. However, the voting for me still doesn't count because there's no difference. Yes, the first time when we were out of apartheid, ANC made the most. Nelson Mandela was part of ANC. We voted for ANC, thanking them for what they did. ANC took care of us. Our roads were fixed. Electricity was done. Jobs were made. However, things have changed now. We are entering a phase where the economy is becoming a downfall. South Africa is literally plummeting because of politics themselves. So it makes it difficult for us to vote because now we are in fear. Uguti ubani ozosnakekela. Once we voted, are we going to make the right decision? Already they voted for who? Cyril Ramaphosa. Our parents voted for Cyril Ramaphosa. And yet the country, things have gone from bad to worse. So what do we vote for? Yeah.
I've never voted myself personally because I haven't actually seen the change that Mandela brought or Mandela wanted to happen. I feel like we are still colonized, but now it's no more physically, it's mentally now. So I'd say I would vote if I'd see the change, but now I haven't voted, so yeah. I still think that there's a whole lot of change that needs to be done, and the voting, it's the last of it before anything. Yeah, before we can vote, I feel like there need to be change. Yeah, but without change, what are we voting for? So yeah, that's what I'd say.
When it comes to the economy, and right now, like the way we're living, cost of living is very high. Like seriously, cost of living is high. So I feel like our economy is just going down the drain, basically. Yeah.
So my take on voting, and do I vote? Funny enough, I was talking about this on one of my DMC sessions. I was talking about voting and I was telling everybody how they should go out and vote. At the time I was even voting for the EFF. I was still very pro-EFF, I still am kind of pro-EFF, but not the way I was. Because I'm seeing some of the politics now starting to creep into them. But the movement that's going well, that started off well, they stand for a good cause. I just think that it just needs a little, like with everything, with everybody, it just needs a little bit of, but anyways. I think people should vote because we are part of the system at the end of the day. And if we let things be, we're going to let the people who set the rules just take over for us. Because they're already making decisions for us. But can we at least have a better devil, is how I like to put it. I don't want to just let it go and then DA wins. I don't want that reality. I don't want to live under a reality where we have white people ruling us. They already are, but now politically as well. It's like it just takes us back, Because yes, I'm not saying white people are bad. There are great white people, I know, but systematically speaking, and the people that back them and everybody else, not everybody is good in that aspect. So we'll rather play it safe and keep it the way it is. Vote for party that you feel speaks to your narrative, which is why I was like pro-EFF. I'm gonna vote for them because they spoke to my narrative, because I wanna give them a chance to show themselves as to what they're saying, because people will be like, these are politicians, they just say this, but we don't know until we give them the platform.
because ANC had the platform for a while, and now we are seeing, okay, and it's asebenzeli, it seems like siyayibona phambi kwethu, so why sisezoyivotela still sizofaka ivote yethu kule nto siyibona uba ayisebenzi. If you are for this, because there's people who will be like, hey, I'm for these guys, but I want to vote ANC because it's a safer option. You know, they vote ANC because they don't want to lose investors. Or so what if we lose investors? Like, if we can get the land right, as they say, then we won't need them, because we'll be able to build a nation. We'll be able to build it from the ground up. And the thing is, we don't want to put in the hard work in order to make our freedom, you know, nice, to make ourselves liberated. Liberation comes with struggle at the end of the day, as much as we like it or not.
Hona le mo ke fitileng teng bophelong, ka bona hore hatello e se e le kelellong. Monahano o tswala bophelo bo o bophelang. Ka ntle le tsebo, go tshwana le lesole le senang sebetsa kapa tshireletso. Batjha, re ntse re le ntweng na?
Yes, we are still in the struggle as the youth. Here it's survival of the fittest in order. Like, I know this myself. Like, we don't even have the confidence to look for jobs. Why must you look for a job knowing very well you will be rejected? Like, the way imali ngekho ngakhona, businesses don't even give like a youth a chance. Okay, some do. A few businesses do give a youth a chance. However, not all businesses can say, as in, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to give this person the job. You that you were no experience, I do understand. However, let's look for a different position for you. Or you can try maybe and make this person shadow you and then teach them. There's nothing like that. There really isn't anything like that these days. You know, that's why there are a few companies that give some people a chance. For example, I myself, I got a chance as well to teach and lecture sports management from like fresh, but it was an internship type thing. I got the chance, I got my experience. Today I can go out and I can utilize whatever I've learned where I was given a chance and to learn. But not all companies do that. So that's where the struggle is. We are all literally struggling to find a job that keeps us happy, a job that makes us financially stable, and a job that we can be proud of. Okay, happy and proud is the same thing. But the pressure's still on, even from home. Our parents seem to choose which job satisfies them or which job is actually good for people to see that, okay, this is the child from this house and she works and this is what happens. So yeah, the struggle is real, survival of the fittest. We are all in competition. As much as we are in competition with people, we're also in competition with ourselves. Because now we need to make sure that when we go for that interview, we need to be better than the person we are competing with and better than the person you were previously or the day before you prepared for the interview that you are going to. So, yeah.
I feel like, yes, we are still in the struggle, because now, like I said before, the struggle is no more physical now, it's mentally, you know. So the system and the colonizers are still colonizing us as South Africans, you know, and us as Africans, because now they're using us as cheap labor and stuff like that. But now we don't get what we want. So yeah, our land is still being drained, you know. So yeah, it's bad. 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 Yeah.
100%. I do believe that it is. Because like I said previously, we're living in an economy where cost of living is high and unemployment rate is even much higher than, you know, than other countries. And right now we can't, like, not everyone can afford to live in South Africa at this point because of cost of living and what's happening, like with the Russian war, because that's the reason why our economy, excuse me, that's the reason why our prices are so high and petrol prices are increasing almost every month because of what's happening in Russia. And yeah, we are currently living in a struggle.
So I think we are still in the struggle, like I said earlier about us youth trying to figure things out. You know, we're trying to figure things out because we are struggling. We are unable to provide, humanities of balance, because as humans there are certain naturalistic things that we have to abide by. There are certain laws that we have to abide by, and the system that we are in kind of steals that from us, so it kind of crumbles a lot of things in the process, whether it be family, whether it be things like love, whether it be things like friendships or whatever it is. It crumbles those things, because if you're economically castrated, you're taking away the ability to provide, for example, for a man to provide for his family, and that makes your family look at you a certain way as a man, or your woman to look at you a certain way, and then you don't get the love that you need as a man in order to be, the reciprocation, man, it messes up a lot. So we're struggling in a lot of those. We then deal with the ripple effects, the depressions, we deal with turmoil, we deal with dysfunctions, family dysfunction, relationship dysfunctions. There's a lot of things.
Do I feel like we're still in the struggle as the youth today? Yes, we are. But what kind of struggle? You guys are free. Are we really free? Like, half of South Africa's youth were unemployed. If you're unemployed, you're underpaid. And as it's allowed pay, you can't be working for 3.5 a month. A struggle, listening is our mental struggle. As youth of South Africa, we're really struggling mentally, and that alone is an what's the word? Pandemic, epidemic, something along those lines. It's something that is just like we sweep it under the rug. Okay, man, but like they like drinking and everything. But if you take a closer look, we're really struggling mentally. That's one of our struggles. We're not struggles are on us. It's 1960 something. First of all, we're unemployed, most of us. That are going to affect you mentally. We have, even in our workplaces, if you say as a female, now can I speak as a female? As a female, sometimes okay, I get treated differently just because of my gender. And then race also comes into play. I'm a black female. So obviously, already, for me, it's already already. But to have a head start I have to prove myself every day. Okay, I'm just as good, and so the struggles are on us. As it's one like gender equality in our workplaces, even racial profiling. Like the racial profiling is still there, the racism, the subtle racism is still there. So that's what the struggles are on us. And I get able to but I didn't talk. We sweep it under the rug and carry on. The regret something about it, but don't do anything about it. We are a generation with happy pictures. And a set generation with happy pictures, that's what we are. Yeah. So that's my struggle for me as youth young mom's answer.
How do I feel the youth of today is following or carrying Mandela's idea? The answer is simple, we're not. We're not, because I feel the majority of the youth understands that we need new leaders. We cannot still be referencing leaders who are fighting a different fight from ours. So I don't think we are carrying on with Mandela's ideals in any way. Because we as young people, we understand, we comprehend the fact that we need new leaders of our generation. So amongst ourselves, we first need to have a common idea of what we want for ourselves and for the future. Once the youth has a common idea, then we are able to identify a leader amongst ourselves who's going to take the torch and run in front of the pack with the support of the other youth. So we are not following Mandela's ideals, because we understand that we need leaders of our own. We need to identify our own leaders who can fully comprehend our struggles as the youth, who's going to take the torch and run with it from there. Because we can't continue with Mandela's ideals. I've mentioned the types of challenges we are facing now are different. Things are just different. We need to have one common goal as the youth, identify a leader amongst ourselves, then we can then push a certain ideas or certain agendas, because we will then be aiming towards one thing. So the youth of today, I feel, is not pushing Mandela's ideal, because we understand that that's the story of the past, which has been left open in the hopes that we as the youth are going to draw positives out of it. But in reality, we need to be honest with ourselves by closing that chapter, starting a new book that identifies challenges that we are facing now, possible solutions, one goal for the youth, and from there we choose who's going to lead us in doing so, and then we carry on from there.
Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished guests, comrades and friends, today all us do, by our presence here and by our celebrations in other parts of our country and the world, confer glory and hope to newborn liberty.